County lawmakers want to end discrimination against natural hairstyles. The CROWN Act stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. And Councilmember Jawando and Council President Nancy Navarro are sponsoring this measure, which affects close to 200,000 women in Montgomery County.
Simply put, hair discrimination is a type of racial discrimination and prejudice that we are all committed to eradicating and exposing here in the county and across the nation. It's also something that deeply impacts individuals' self-esteem and their everyday decisions about how they present themselves to the world.
But the reality is that there are so many particular aspects of how we can continue to patiently dismantle a lot of these structural and institutionalized issues and barriers.
At a press conference today, council members were joined by a number of supporters, including Orlena Blanchard, president and CEO of Joy Collective, a multicultural marketing and communications company.
Our team has been one that's been working behind the scenes for the past year on advancing hair discrimination legislation, and we've been doing so on behalf of the CROWN Coalition. The CROWN Coalition is an alliance of organizations who have come together to fight for inclusion and racial equity. The CROWN Coalition was founded earlier this year by the Dove brand, a Unilever company, the National Urban League, Color of Change, as well as Western Center on Law and Poverty. And what is phenomenal is, as we've talked about today, the importance of this issue. Over the past year, we have amassed more than 50 different organizations that are in support of the CROWN Act.
Susan Bishop is the owner of the Jaha Hair Salon in Silver Spring. She said her clients ask her to style their hair to conform to what they believe is socially acceptable.
So they never really discussed being discriminated against, but their words that they use when they need to get their hair done, I needed to lay flat, not to be distracting. And they would say words like that to let me realize that they knew exactly what they needed to do to conform to be where they needed to be.
Jawando says the council has been receiving complaints of discrimination, which is what prompted this measure. Montgomery is the first local jurisdiction in the nation to introduce this type of legislation. It's in line with a similar law in place in New York and California.
And it's going to do two things. It's going to create a regime that allows people who feel that they've been discriminated against because of their hairstyle to seek a remedy through our Office of Human Rights, and up to a $5,000 payment if discrimination is found. It will expand the definition of race to include hair discrimination traditionally associated with those of African ancestry.
A vote on the measure is scheduled for later this fall. Reporting from Rockville, I'm Susan Kennedy.